Hey, welcome back. It's been a while. So this here is a 1980 PA50. Now this is a moped that they sold for a long time here in North America. I think until, well, in Canada, I think they sold it until '87. And I did a lot of research on this, so I've been looking for a project to do because the house is literally driving me insane. So I just need something to take my mind off of that, and I came up with a moped. Mopeds are pretty cheap. I mean, you can pick them up for nothing. Not that scooters aren't cheap, but yeah, they're like, this was no amount of money. This was like my fun money saved up for like a couple months. But yeah, this was like $100 thing. I don't really know why. I've never purchased a moped before. I mean, I like bicycles. I like two strokes. So combining the two of them together seems to make a lot of sense. And like I said, I did a bunch of research on these. Now, like, you can get a, I'm going to probably butcher these pronunciations, but a Puke or a like a Sachs or Minarelli, Tomos, or a lot of those, and a lot of those are highly modifiable. And not only are they highly modifiable, they have quite a bit of aftermarket parts. But this beautiful beast enticed me because a lot of the stuff that's on this and a lot of the aftermarket parts that you'd use to modify this are Honda parts. So they use, I have a couple of speed fight cylinders here still from modifying Dio stuff, and those apparently go onto here with almost no effort whatsoever. You need a different crank, but you could probably even put a different rod on the crank and make it work. You need a 12-pin for the speed fight stuff. Same as on the rear sheath there. Yeah, some guys have been putting Dio pulleys on the back of there to increase the speed and make it work a bit better. So, and just general, these all have a reed valve. This is a PA2, I believe. Yeah, I think so, because it has the black instead of the white. So, these have a 2-pedal reed valve, whereas a lot of the older stuff is piston port or has a very small reed valve. And on top of that, it's a Honda. So I mean, like, parts are pretty easy to get. So this seemed to check off a lot of boxes, and some of the more gnarly modded scooters I've seen have been Hobbits. I guess probably also just because they're easy to get, at least in North America. Again, Europe, this phase is come and gone, you know, but even these, they are modifying those in lots of places over there. These sold like crazy over in Europe as well. So, yeah, this is my foray into moped stuff, I think. Again, just because I looked up prices for a lot of parts for them, they're really cheap. The other sweet thing is that the motor unit is separate, the transmission unit is separate, and then there's just the swing arm in the middle. So you can do all kinds of stuff. One of the things that really piqued my interest is I saw a guy actually put a Piaggio rear wheel on and then made the motor spin backwards, start backwards, sorry, because the gears are opposite on those, so it needs to drive the other way. But then he put a giant pulley on the rear, so he was able to actually increase the overall speed of the thing. So I think there's a lot that you can do with these that you're somewhat limited on a scooter with, but not in the same sense too. There's tons of parts for scooters. But yeah, these just seem a little bit more rudimentary and easy to tinker with. So I think what I'm going to do is, my plan for tonight is to strip this down mostly. I want to get the power unit out so I can clean it up and start looking at my modifications at what I want to do. I think right now the clutch is on the inside of there, And I'd like to put a scooter clutch on it so that it's all in the rear on the hub, and a bunch of little things like that. So yeah, I think tearing into this thing and getting it stripped and getting the motor out, and we'll go from there.
And there we go, one power unit out. When I say power unit, I mean like a 1.5 horsepower motor. But apparently these things can take a lot of speed fight or DO cylinders. Probably would also mean Piaggio cylinders would probably fit on there. That'd be interesting. Maybe do like a stage 6 kit. I'll have to check and see if the bolt spacing allows for a stage 6 kit to go on there. But yeah. So far, moped's kind of sweet. Took me maybe 30 minutes to strip it down. Looks like the tank is super messed up, super rusty on the inside. There were a lot of spiders. I don't know if that's going to be savable. We'll give it a try, fill it with some acid and see what happens. But I have a hunch that it's not. Pretty much every other component needs to be redone, all the cables, all the wiring and stuff, but there's the bike, no bike mode. But I have these over here already. Apparently you can get an adapter, or I'll end up making an adapter most likely, which allows you to put a DO pack reed block on the bottom. And I already had a KX 65 Moto Tassinari reed that is just chilling in a box. And then, this will look familiar, another stage 6 speed fight cylinder, the modular head one. And like I said, I might even try my stage 6 RT adapter to see if that'll bolt onto there. That would be a wild build, but I don't know if I want to go that. Well, I don't have any free money, so this thing will be built mostly out of ignorance and parts that are floating around, unless somebody wants to start sending me some stuff. So I have a little bit of time, so I might as well strip out the rest of the motor and get down to the core of it and see what we have there. Well, I think that's it for tonight. This is small enough I can maneuver it around. But yeah, it seems like the speed fight cylinder does line up. It's probably gonna have to be some welding done here and here. There's a keyless puller it looks like I'm gonna need, some type of 3-jaw or something to get that off of there. And this side is going to take some finagling, probably similar small 3-jaw puller, just to get in there and pop that off, because that's no longer attached to that, which makes it pretty hard to use as well. But and the other thing I learned was somebody jammed, or there's broken off inside of this hole here, because this is a NC stud, not metric, and it was just wound in there only by a couple threads by the looks of it, just enough to get it to cinch up. But yeah, so that's going to need a repair, maybe a helicoil. I'll see how much thread's left in there. I can just run a longer bolt. If there's enough thread I can go down into it, won't be an issue. But I'm stuck tonight. I don't have a small 3-jaw puller to get that end off, and I don't have a one for this side either. But that's it for me for this evening. Until next time, take care.